It's about doing what's necessary. A lot of shit that's going on in our lives, right? As we come into this new year, the shit ain't right altogether. The situation ain't right, so to speak. So you got to get your mind off of, I got to make a decision or move in a way that it makes me look right, or it's the right thing to do, or it is not wrong. Some shit, especially when you in your follow through, and I'll explain what that means. If y'all in my book club, you know what I'm talking about. But some things, it does not require you to even think about whether this is right, wrong, indifferent. What is motherfucking necessary for you to get out this situation you in, for the lesson to stop looping, for things to start a growth cycle for you? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Happy New Year, top of the morning, bottom of the motherfucking bullshit. Some stuff is not about doing the right thing. It's about doing what's necessary. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the right thing to different people is a whole bunch of different shit. And it has to do with what frequency you're vibrating on. What's right to you and what's right to somebody else is two completely different things, right? Based on ethics, values, how you was raised, what you got going on currently. Some of y'all, you don't even realize now that you in a different predicament than what you was in 3 to 5 years ago, right? What you believe is right ain't even the same as what you believed was right back then. And this is why you have to really grow up in this space and accept that some things, it ain't about right or wrong. It's about what's necessary. And for everyone, regardless of whether I like it or not, they should do what is necessary for their situation, necessary for overall growth, necessary for forward progress, necessary to get through to the next day, the next level. A lot of y'all, you spent a good majority of this past year in a space where the lessons is looping. You're worried about making the right choice of how you look to certain people that you have idolized. Right? And when I'm talking about this, I ain't talking about celebrities y'all look up to or people on TV or on the internet y'all watching. I'm talking about the people in y'all families, the people in y'all inner circle that you idolize. The reason why is because you've obsessed. You've made it 75 to 80% thing as far as your time to be worried about their business, what they have going on, what they've said about you, your interactions with them. Your emotions have been vested 75 to 80% of the time into whatever is going on with them. And outside of that, you doing your duties, jobs, and whatever responsibilities you got with children. Right? And you got to get in a space where you are real with yourself, that I am idolizing these relationships. This is why most of my choices, this is why a lot of things that I think about is centered around these people and what I have going on with them, rather than myself and how do I make the necessary decisions to get in a space where I am deciding on a regular basis what frequency I'm going to vibrate on, what I want to attract in my life. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? It's a lot of y'all, it ain't clicked yet. A lot of shit is not about whether this is the right thing to do. It is about, is this necessary? Is this necessary? Is this necessary for growth? Is this necessary for forward progress? Is this necessary to get out this motherfucking loop I'm in? A lot of y'all, you know, you don't know the information. You're just not informed. That's why you're not able to do it. But you're supposed to wake up every day and choose what frequency you're on. You're supposed to wake up every day and decide what frequency you're going to vibrate on. So y'all wake up every day, you choose your clothes, you choose what you're going to eat, you choose whether to go to work or not, right? But the main thing you're missing is deciding, what am I going to attract? What frequency am I going to vibrate on? What energy am I going to sit in? When you start to choose this, and I'm finna fuck some of y'all up with this. When you start to choose this, like you choose them shoes you put on every day, you will become more and more in control of not just your life, but your soul. You will become more and more in control of your spirituality and intentional about who you are. You will wake up that second heartbeat. You will be in a space where you are more aware of self. A lot of y'all, again, you can DM me if you're trying to get in the book club. A lot of y'all, you are choosing the surface level shit, but the stuff that really matters, the stuff that's going to make everything else in your life pay off, right? As you make physical movements, is for you to decide what frequency you are vibrating on. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining? I will break it down a little bit deeper. If you be in my Zooms every week, you probably know where I'm going with this. A lot of y'all don't realize everybody has a dark and a light side. There's a Zoom coming up on that, just so y'all are aware, right? And if you understand this, you realize I have to tap into both at times because it's necessary. And a lot of y'all, this is why you don't understand why shit happens to people that you believe are good people. You believe you're a good person, right? And so you have this depressed disposition towards life because you do for people, you look out, you show up for them, and oftentimes people don't show up for you, and it's because you don't understand this exact thing I'm talking about right now, right? You have to choose what frequency you're vibrating on. Meaning you have to choose different energies. It's not gonna always be love and happiness 24/7. There's a time to fight. There's a time to shut the fuck up. There's a time to step out. There's a time to stay in. There is a time to speak your mind. There's a time to not. There's a time to pay. There's a time to be frugal. There is a time, right? And what you have to understand is the time for these things don't decide themselves, right? Life doesn't come and decide them for you. The people that's winning, the ones that truly understand what I'm saying, it leads you into power over yourself and your environment because you're deciding. Right? And then this is what makes you take ownership of everything that's going on in your life. And I know some of y'all, I'm talking over your head. Trigger warning, because y'all know it's the same old shit. New year, same old shit in regards to my page. I'm always going to talk about real shit. You gon' get triggered if you stay on this motherfucker. You a grown adult or not. In you know, it's a lot of people, they adult in age, but they still got an adolescent mind. You chose to keep your ass on here. That's on you. Right? But you have to be willing to decide, not let life land it to you, but you decide what parts of me is necessary for me to get the shit done that I know I need to get done for my life. I'm going to go a little bit deeper and then I'm going to get off of here, right? Because I'm going to give y'all too much to have you all over the place for the new year, right? But for those of y'all that are truly aware spiritually, right? Oftentimes you will experience a karmic kickback from the things that you do a lot faster or instant as opposed to others, right? And it can make you feel like, damn, why this shit happen to me and other people doing all this crazy ass shit, but stuff doesn't happen to them. And a lot of it has to do with, again, your connection, your understanding, your awareness, your spirituality that is there versus theirs is not. Right? And there's more for me to elaborate on, but I'm trying to help some of y'all understand why you going through or why you went through the things that you've went through this last year or these past few months. You got to get in a space where you start to look inward. And what I mean by that is some of y'all do need therapy or you need some sort of outlet that is able to give you wise counsel that you can go to, right? Some of y'all, you need to get organized, right? Because the idea of depression and poor mental health and, you know, weak spiritual mindset or weak spirituality, chaos, right? And isolation, meaning lack of alignment, right? It allows bullshit to thrive. And so if you don't have your life organized, if you're not organized with your time, if you don't have a clear sense of goals, everything's not going to go the way you lay it out and plan it. So you can get them planners. Y'all can write shit out for the new year. Understand that, you know, and I talk about this in my Zooms. For those of y'all in my book club, y'all know I talk about tallying up and constantly doing the quarter evaluation and the weekly evaluation of your schedule, because you will plan things. It won't always go as planned, but you need clarity that aligns with the action that is necessary to move you in the direction that you say you want to go in your life. Right? And so if you understand what I'm explaining, some people need therapy. Some people need to get their life organized. Some people need to be honest. It's a lot of us, we're lying to ourselves. I talked about this a lot last year. And if you come into this new year continuously telling yourself them same old lies about what you got going on, about relationships and things where a person supposedly cares about you, but their actions don't show. You supposedly care about yourself, but your actions don't show, right? You're going to continue to loop. The lesson will loop until you learn it. This goes for everybody, me and any one of y'all included. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much money you don't got. I don't care what your religious beliefs are. The lessons in your life that you're supposed to learn, the motherfuckers are going to loop until you learn them. Until you learn them. And some of y'all, you got people in your life that they jump in front of the lesson every time. It ain't that you don't want to learn it. Some of y'all, you doing this to yourself by way of the people that you have around or even the children that you're raising. Oftentimes, we believe the right thing to do is to help people avoid certain consequences of their actions, bail them out of situations, help them through certain things. And what you have to be careful with, because I am not saying in any way, shape, or form that you are not supposed to extend your hand to your fellow man or woman, your sister or your brother, your community for help. But you have to be careful of how much you interfere, because if you block the lesson for them, it's going to loop back around. And it's a lot of y'all, you are in looping lessons with other people. You keep jumping in front of them learning the lesson, saving them. And then the lesson loops back around again. You jump in front again. The lesson loops back around again. You jump in front again. You could clearly see what the person is supposed to learn. You're even telling them as you're saving them from the consequences of their actions, which is where the lesson lies. You're even telling them, bro, you got to stop doing this because this gonna happen. Bro, you come on, sis, you got to stop doing. And guess what? You know it. You're interfering with them knowing it, so you're the cause of it looping. You're just as much responsible as they are. They doing the shit, right? But you are causing for the lesson to loop back round because it is necessary. It is trying to make it to that person.